Hey there. Welcome back to Redefining Her Game. I'm so glad you're here today. Seriously, I know how busy life gets between work, family, errands, and that endless list of shoulds running through your head. The fact that you pressed play and carved out time for this, that matters. So, after our last conversation about time being the currency of our second act, I got so many messages from you, and honestly, they were amazing. Some of you said, I started journaling again, or I finally took a nap without feeling guilty, or I sat on the back porch with my coffee and didn't pick up my phone for 30 minutes. And then one message said, I spent an entire Saturday doing nothing, and for the first time, I didn't feel lazy. I felt peaceful. That made me smile so big because, yes, that's exactly it. We're learning that time doesn't just have to be productive. It can be peaceful, playful, creative, and yes, purposeful. And that's what we're diving into today. How everything can have a purpose if you allow it. Not just the big dramatic things, but the little ordinary, messy parts of life too. Like the mornings when you spill your coffee, but then laugh about it. The late night talks with a friend when you should have been asleep hours ago. The days that don't go the way you planned, but somehow still turn into a good story later. It's all connected and it all counts. We spent so much of our lives chasing purpose, like it's hiding somewhere far away, when really it's woven into our everyday. We just have to slow down long enough to see it. So today, let's talk about what it means to give purpose to everything, to the laughter, the laundry, the lessons, and all of the moments in between. So grab your coffee or your sneakers if you're out on a walk, and let's dig in together. All right, somewhere along the way, the word purpose got way too freaking serious. Like, why did we make it sound like this epic quest? You say the word and people immediately start thinking, oh, great. I need to find my life's purpose. Like it's hiding behind a rock somewhere in the mountains. And listen, I've read all the books and listened to the podcast about finding your purpose. I've highlighted the quotes. I've had those late night soul searching moments where I thought, okay, God, just give me a sign. Send a flashing neon arrow. Tell me what I'm supposed to be doing with this life. But the truth is, the older I get, the more I realize purpose isn't hiding. Like it's right in front of me in the little things that we do every day. Like maybe your purpose today was making your kid laugh before school or showing up at work with a good attitude when you really just wanted to crawl into bed, or cooking dinner. Even though it wasn't fancy, it was made with love. And maybe a little bit of I'm tired, just eat it. Or maybe your purpose was just keeping a plant alive this week. That counts too. We've got to stop treating purpose like it's a job title or a major life event. It doesn't have to come with a LinkedIn post or a big announcement. Sometimes purpose is quiet. Sometimes it's just about being present enough to notice the life you're already living. You know those moments when everything slows down just for a second and you think, okay, this right here, feels right. That's purpose. You might be driving with the windows down, laughing with your best friend, or just sitting in the kitchen watching the sunlight hit your coffee mug in the morning. That tiny spark of contentment, that's purpose too. Like we spend so much time chasing it that we forget to feel it. And here's the thing, purpose doesn't have to be perfect. It's not supposed to be. We're all living messy, real lives, juggling kids, work, relationships, hormones, let's be honest, groceries, carpool, and laundry, and the list goes on and on. And sometimes just getting through the day with a little bit of grace and a sense of humor is the purpose. Like if you made it through the week without losing your mind, that's purpose achieved. Take it. We don't need to overcomplicate this. We're not on a quest. We're living life. I think that's what's exciting about this second act, at least for me, this season I'm in. That the definition of purpose can finally expand. It doesn't have to be what it was before. We're not just raising kids and climbing ladders or proving ourselves anymore. Now we get to ask different questions, softer questions. What do I want my time to feel like? Who do I want to spend it with? What makes me feel light? Maybe your purpose right now is to rest. Maybe it's to create. Maybe it's to reconnect with your girlfriends, your partner, yourself. Or maybe it's to be open to something new that you didn't even know you wanted. That's the beauty of this stage. We finally get to play with possibility again. And you know what? I think our purpose can change every single day, and that's okay. It doesn't make you flaky or unfocused. It makes you alive. Some days my purpose is building something meaningful. Other days, it's making my bed and lighting a candle and calling that a win. Both count. Because purpose isn't about chasing meaning. It's about giving meaning to what's already here. So maybe instead of asking, what is my purpose? We start asking, how can I bring purpose into what I'm already doing? Like, how can I make my morning commute feel more intentional? Maybe listen to a podcast that makes me think or sing at the top of my lungs to 90s throwbacks. How can I make my time in the kitchen less of a chore? Maybe pour a glass of wine, turn on some music, and dance between stirring the pasta. How can I turn the boring parts of life into something that actually fills me up instead of drains me? Because everything can have a purpose if we give it one. And here's where it gets really fun. Once you start living that way, your life starts to feel lighter. You start seeing magic in the small stuff. Think about it. You stop waiting for purpose to find you, and you start realizing it was always right there, waiting for you to notice. So yeah, maybe purpose isn't huge, dramatic moment of revelation. Maybe it's just the everyday stuff that adds up to a life that feels full, happy, and beautifully your own. And honestly, that's my kind of purpose. You know, in our last episode, we talked about how time is the currency of our second act. And I keep coming back to that idea because the more I think about it, the more it clicks. If time is our currency, then how we spend it determines how rich our life feels. And that to me is freedom. And honestly, isn't it funny? Like how much time we used to spend worrying about everyone else's schedule? We were basically time managers for the world. Kids, partners, parents, bosses, school drop-offs, soccer games, grocery lists, all of it. Our time belonged to everybody else for a long time. And now that we finally have a little of it back, we're like, wait, what do I even do with this? Like, we've forgotten how to just be. But that's the exciting part. We get to figure it out. We get to choose how we spend our time now. That's not something to be scared of. That's something we're going to celebrate. So when I started thinking of a time as mine again, something shifted, right? Like I stopped filling every second with something that looked productive. And I started asking myself, does this actually feel good? Does this fill me up? Does this feel like me? And that's where purpose started sneaking in again. Because when you start matching how you spend your time with how you want to feel, you stop chasing meaning and you start living it. Like when you spend an hour laughing with your best friend, that's purpose. When you take a walk and listen to music that makes you feel 25 again, purpose. When you go to bed early instead of staying up answering emails that could totally wait until morning, purpose. Like it's all purposeful if it's aligned with who you are and what matters to you. Like I used to think time had to be filled to be valuable, but now I know it just has to be intentional. Sometimes that means slowing down. Sometimes it means saying no. And sometimes it means saying yes, even if it's spontaneous and silly and totally outside your comfort zone. And you know what else? Freedom looks different for all of us. For some women, it's starting a side hustle or traveling somewhere new. For others, it's having slow mornings again. Coffee, journal, quiet. And for some of us, freedom is just peace. No rushing, no performing, no proving. Just breathing. When you realize you get to spend your time the way you want, on the people you love, the things that make you laugh, the dreams you put on hold, that's when everything changes. Because freedom isn't about doing whatever you want. It's about choosing what matters most to you. And you know, that hit me the other day. I was lighting a candle that I'd been saving for months, like waiting for the right occasion. And as soon as I lit it, I was like, what the hell was I waiting for? For what? Like it smelled amazing, right? My house felt warm and calm. And I realized I could have had this feeling any day. I just kept waiting for a reason or the right season. So now I light the damn candles, right? I wear the nice perfume on a Tuesday if I feel like it. I use the good blanket because that's what this season feels like. No more waiting for special occasions. Time itself is a special occasion. Every day we wake up is a perfect excuse to enjoy what we have. So here's the fun part. You get to design your own days, right? You can fill them with people who make you laugh until you cry. You can spend them working on projects that mean something new to you. You can waste a whole Saturday making pancakes and still call it purposeful because you were happy. The secret is this. Time becomes purposeful the minute you choose to be present in it. That's it. Not perfect, not productive, just present. And the older I get, the more I realize we don't need to earn rest or joy or stillness. We don't need to explain why we're taking time for ourselves. We've already done all the hard parts. We've spent years running, managing, building. This chapter, this is our permission slip to spend our time how we frickin' want. Because we're not asking for approval anymore. We're done. We're celebrating the fact that we made it here and that every day we get to decide what freedom looks like for us. And you know what I've been thinking about lately? How much of our lives have been spent waiting for permission. Permission to rest, permission to take a break, right? Permission to change our minds, permission to be happy without having to justify it. It's like we've been walking around holding these invisible permission slips, waiting for someone else to sign them. Our boss, our spouse, society, whoever. Well, guess what? We're signing our own now. We're done waiting. We've earned the right to take up space in our own lives. We've earned the right to decide what matters and what doesn't. We've earned the right to say, you know what? I'm doing this my way. And listen, this doesn't have to look dramatic. A permission slip can be Something as simple as, let me see, taking a nap in the middle of the day because you're tired, not lazy. Saying no to something that drains you without explaining why. Saying yes to something that makes you happy without needing to be productive. Pouring a glass of wine and dancing in your kitchen to the early 2000s pop. Because why not? That's what this part of life is about, choosing joy on purpose. And here's what I love about giving ourselves permission. It's contagious. When we stop apologizing for being happy, we give the women around us permission to do the same. Like, think about it. How many times have you seen a friend do something brave or silly and spontaneous and thought, like, maybe I could do that too? That's the ripple effect of living unapologetically. You light your own candle, and suddenly everyone else feels like they can light theirs too. And yes, I'm staying with the candle thing because let's be honest, there's always one burning in the background right now, right? I think for so long, we were taught to keep the celebration small, to not make a big deal of the little things, or just to not make a big deal at all. But you know what? I'm kind of tired of it. I'm tired of small. I'm tired of downplaying. I want to celebrate everything. I want to make a big deal out of the small wins again. It's like you finally cleaned your email box, celebrate it. You made it to the gym, even though you didn't want to, celebrate it. You survived a hard week without losing your cool, celebrate it. You remembered your kid's permission slip for the field trip, frame that shit. We are so good at cheering for other people, but when it comes to our lives and ourselves, we whisper our wins. We downplay them, or we don't celebrate at all. No more whispering. It's time to celebrate out loud, to toast to the ordinary, to clap for yourself, to find joy in the middle of real life. Because celebration isn't just about pride, it's about gratitude. When you start to celebrate more, you start noticing more. You start realizing how full your life already is. We don't have to wait for the big moments, the promotions, the milestones, the perfect circumstances. There's so much beauty in the in-between. Like when you're sitting at the kitchen table in your old sweatshirt, laughing with your best friend until your stomach hurts. That's life. That's joy. And that's purpose. That's what we miss when we're too busy rushing to the next thing. And you know what else I think we should start celebrating? Ourselves. Right now. Not just who we were or who we're trying to become, but who we are today. The women who are still showing up even when it's hard. The women who are learning, growing, trying. The women who are redefining what their life can look like one choice at a time. That deserves a celebration. So maybe this week, give yourself a literal permission slip. Write it down on a Post-it, stick it on your mirror. Permission granted to rest. Permission granted to take up space. Permission granted to wear what makes you feel good and not give a shit what people think. Permission granted to be a little messy and a lot alive. Because life isn't meant to be managed, it's meant to be lived. And every day you wake up and decide to live it on your terms, that's a celebration in itself. We're not asking for approval anymore. We're done with that. We are not waiting for a reason to be joyful. We are the reason. Everything, every little choice, every laugh, every imperfect day, it can all have purpose if we allow it. So go ahead, sign your own goddamn permission slip. Dance, rest, say no, say yes, whatever you need. Because this is your life. You deserve to celebrate living it. And you know, for everything we've talked about today, time, permission, celebration, there's still one big piece we can't ignore. Life is messy, like beautifully, annoyingly, unpredictably messy. And for a long time, I thought purpose only existed once I got past the mess, once everything was organized, calm, handled. But I've learned something in the chapter here. The middle is where the magic actually happens. Because let's be real, how often is everything perfectly lined up at the same time? Almost never. You've got work deadlines, your kids calling from college, asking how to cook chicken without poisoning themselves. Your spouse texted, "Do we have milk?" Well, you're in the middle of a Zoom call and you're just trying to hold it together with dry shampoo and hope. Like, that's life. And guess what? There's still purpose in that. There's purpose in showing up even when you're stretched thin. There's purpose in laughing through the chaos. There's purpose in giving yourself grace on the days that just don't go as planned. We think purpose has to be polished, but sometimes it's the cracks that let the light in. You know what I think the messy middle really is? It's proof that we're still growing. It's the space between who we were and who we're becoming. And I kind of love it because the middle is where the lessons live. It's where the stories happen, the ones we'll laugh about later. It's where we realize we don't have to have it all together to be exactly where we're meant to be. Life isn't perfect. There's something freeing about being able to say, I'm still figuring it out, because that's all any of us are doing. We're living life for the first time. There's no manual for this part, right? We're all just trying to make the best choices we can with the information and energy we got today. And sometimes that's enough. Sometimes purpose is just getting up, showing up, and trying again tomorrow. I think as women, especially in midlife, we've spent so much time holding it all together that we forget how powerful it is to let go a little. Let go of the pressure to be perfect. Let go of the idea that purpose has to look like achievement. Let go of the guilt that comes from not doing it all. Because the truth is, you already are doing so much. You're building, you're loving, you're learning, and you're evolving, all while probably unloading the dishwasher and doing laundry. You don't need to be perfect to have purpose. You just need to be present. And that's what makes this messy middle so beautiful. It's real. The tears, the laughter, the self-doubt, the late night talks, the unfinished to-do list, that's where your life is happening. Those are the moments that shape you. So when you look back one day, it won't be perfectly curated, scheduled weeks you remember. It'll be the ones that surprised you, stretched you, and made you stronger. So maybe instead of trying to fix the mess, we just start embracing it. Like, okay, maybe you burned dinner. Fine. Order pizza. Light the candle anyways. Maybe you forgot to RSVP to something. Whatever. There's always next time. Maybe your living room looks like a tornado hit it. Cool. That's what memories and progress look like. We can still find purpose in those moments because we're living. And living, by its very nature, is a little messy. So let's stop holding our breath, waiting for everything to make sense. Let's breathe right here in the middle of the figuring it out. Because this right here, this is what it means to be alive. And if you let it, even this season, the confusing, chaotic, beautiful one, can have purpose too. Because sometimes purpose doesn't look like a plan. It looks like peace. Peace in knowing that you're doing your best. You're learning as you go. And you're allowed to enjoy the process. So here's what I want to remind you before we close out this conversation. You don't need to wait for perfect to start celebrating your life. You don't need to have it all together to have meaning. You don't need to have the answers to have purpose. You just have to be here, really here. Let yourself laugh, rest, cry, try, fall down, and start again. Because every single bit of it, even the messy middle, is proof that you're still growing, still evolving, still choosing to live life fully. And if you allow it, even the mess can have a purpose. As we wrap up today, I just keep coming back to that thought. Everything can have a purpose if you allow it. And the word allow is really what sticks with me, because for so many years, we were taught to plan, fix, control, perfect. We were taught that life had to look a certain way to count. But if all we really had to do was to allow it, allow the quiet, allow the laughter, allow the mess, allow the joy that shows up in the most ordinary moments. We don't have to earn our purpose. We don't have to chase it. We just have to notice it. It's in the everyday things, the car rides, the grocery runs, the long talks with friends, the late night giggles, the burnt dinners, the coffee that goes cold because you got lost in a conversation. That's where life is happening. And if you can start seeing that, if you can allow yourself to find purpose in that, your whole world starts to feel softer. I think the best part about this season of life is that we finally realize we're not waiting for anyone else to give us permission anymore. We're the ones holding the pen now. We get to write the permission slips. We get to design our days. We get to decide who gets our energy, who gets our time, and how we want to spend both. And that's powerful, because when you start to own your time and give meaning to the moments that used to fly by unnoticed, that's when everything shifts. That's when life starts to feel lighter, more beautiful, more yours. So here's my hope for you this week. I hope you find purpose in the little things. I hope you laugh at something ridiculous and outrageous and count it as a win. I hope you let yourself rest without guilt. I hope you celebrate something small, like really celebrate it just because you can. And most of all, I hope you remember that you're allowed to enjoy your own life. You're allowed to feel proud of the woman you've become. You're allowed to start something new, even if you have no idea where it's going. You're allowed to look at your beautifully imperfect life and think, this is mine and it matters. Because everything, every moment, every season, every version of you can have a purpose if you allow it. And that's what redefining your game really means. It's not about doing more. It's about being more aware, more present, more alive. So take a deep breath right now. Look around and smile at the little things that are already good, because they're part of your story too. Before we close out, I just want to say thank you, truly, for spending this time with me today. If today's episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who might need the reminder that they don't have to have it all figured out. They just have to allow it to be beautiful right now. And if you haven't yet, make sure you follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. That helps more women find this community. You can also come find me over on Instagram or TikTok at Redefining Her Game. And this week, I want to hear from you. Tell me what you're allowing. Is it joy? Is it peace? Is it rest? Whatever it is, I want to celebrate it with you. All right? That's it for today. Go light your candle, pour your coffee, take that walk, or dance in your kitchen. Whatever brings you joy. Because your life, exactly as it is, already has purpose. You just have to allow it in.